There are ghosts out there. Lots and lots of ghosts out there. No one seems to care much about them, though, except for me, because I look for the ghosts. You know, Southeast Asia is filled with ghosts. Then you've got the field of Southeast Asian history. It's haunted by ghosts. But the ghosts that haunt the field of Southeast Asian history, they're not actually ghosts from Southeast Asia. They're Western ghosts. You see, ever since the time that the field of Southeast Asian history first emerged in the West after World War II, scholars have been trying to define what it is that makes Southeast Asia a region and what's important about its past. But they haven't been able to do it, and this failure has haunted the field. In his A History of Southeast Asia, Critical Crossroads, historian Anthony Reid has a section at the end of his introductory chapter on Southeast Asia called, quote, "Not China, not India." Okay, but then what is it? I'm not sure, but Reid also says that there are 3 points about Southeast Asian history that merit our attention. To quote, "Its dangerous tectonic interfaces can determine the world's climate and the survival of our species. Its women were more autonomous economically and socially than those in other societies whose histories are known. And its societies had other mechanisms for cultural and economic coherence than those of states which dominate much history elsewhere." What is he saying here? He's saying that by studying Southeast Asian history, we can remind ourselves that we have to find a way to preserve the environment, that women should have a prominent place in society, and that we need to find a way to control citizens and the economy that is more benevolent than the techniques of modern states. Right now, as I drive about Honolulu looking for ghosts, Sumatra is going up in flames as people burn down the forests to make room for palm plantations. In comparison with the West, women do not have any particularly prominent position in Southeast Asian societies, and Southeast Asian states are becoming increasingly authoritarian. Reid's view of the past is trapped in a Western approach to studying society. As Lynn Hunt has recently explained in her writing History in the Global Era, the very idea of society emerged in Europe around the time of the French Revolution, when the autocratic power of the monarch was replaced by a form of government that claimed to represent the interests of a group of people, society or civil society. Since that time, intellectuals have sought to study and explain society so that representative governments can improve society. This, for instance, is why Marx wrote about the working class and modes of production. Ultimately, he wanted people in government, somewhere, anywhere, to take notice and to improve society. Reid's emphasis on certain aspects of the Southeast Asian past is part of the same endeavor. He wants people to see a better version of society and to move towards creating that society. But were societies in Southeast Asia really the way he describes them? Or does his desire to see societies change lead him to imagine the Southeast Asian past to be different than it really was? This is why I'm looking for ghosts, because I think they can help us. There are a lot of ghosts in Southeast Asia, but there's one that is unique. It's the ghost of a woman. By day, she is beautiful, but at night, her head separates from her body, pulling her internal organs along as she flies through the night looking for blood, particularly the blood of a woman who has just given birth to a child. Once she finds this, her tongue can extend far out of her mouth so that she can lap up the delicious blood that she so desires. If she can't find blood, she will resort to eating excrement and will then wipe her mouth on clothes that were left out on a clothesline. That's why it's always important to bring in the laundry before you go to sleep. This ghost is in Cambodia, where she's known as an app. In Thailand, she's a Pigra Sua.
พี่เขียวข้าเข้าไปได้บ่สู้ออกไปก่อนนี่มันเรื่องของพวกแม่หญิงข้าอยากเห็นลูกออกไปสู้ปูยังบ่แล้วงาน
In the Malay world, she goes by various names, from Panangalan to Balan Balan. In Bali, she is a layak.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Hey, it's all right. The baby will be here soon.
You know, she seems to be having a lot of trouble this time.
In the Philippines, she is the Manananggal.
Hindi namin alam kung saan sila nanggaling. Parang taong bayawak na dumadaan sa ilalim ng lupa. Ang tawag namin sa kanila, mga abwa.
Ngayon lang ulit nagkaroon ng katulad mo sa lahi ng mga abwak. Mahalaga ka sa amin, Asmi.
Minsan tao, minsan hayop. Mapanganib. Kaakit-akit.
She doesn't seem to exist in Vietnam and Burma, at least not among the majority populations. She is, however, in the mountains of Vietnam, and the Karen on the Thai-Burmese border are well aware of her as well. So this ghost seems to define a region, and if we follow her trail, perhaps we can define Southeast Asia once and for all. At the same time, the belief that there are women who cause problems for their community by transforming into flying heads that eat other women's blood is not a belief that can help a representative government improve society. So perhaps by examining ideas like this, we can step away from the standard Western approach to studying society and can view Southeast Asia from a non-Western perspective. And perhaps from this perspective, the fires of Sumatra and the actions of governments from Naypyidaw to Singapore, from Bangkok to Kuala Lumpur can make more sense. I'm not sure. All I know is that there are plenty of immigrants from Southeast Asia here in Honolulu. And I'm not sure why, but I suspect that she must be here too.